fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Amazing PULIS, or PULIX, from Glory Alliance 5, War of the Fierce Beasts. So I have to admit, I do not know much about this line. I tried to do some research and find what I could, and it was very difficult. I just happened to see these toys on AliExpress, and I thought they looked really, really cool, and so I decided to pick it up. So basically, this is PULIX, or PULIS. I've seen it written two different ways. And he is this kind of blue SUV, Humvee type vehicle. And then he has these two beast partners. This is Blue Flame War Dragon and Blade Eagle Sword. At least according to the directions. I don't know if they have proper names or not, but that's what I could translate from the directions. And like I said, I tried to Google search and I really could not find out much. So we're going to go with it. But it's a really cool line of toys. I really like these quite a bit. So you have PULIX or PULIS here, who obviously has his own robot mode, and then you have these two kind of beast companions that can turn into weapons and stuff, which is really, really cool. So I think this is a really neat line. I'm going to go ahead and put these two guys off to the side for the moment. We'll take a little bit closer look at them later on. So first for PULIS here, like I said, it's this kind of blue SUV, Humvee type vehicle. Rolls pretty well. Has all these extra accessories here kind of attached to the side. And he does have a robot mode, so there's not too much to go into for the vehicle mode, but it looks pretty good. You have the light bars up here for the blue and red, a little bit of gold paint here, and some gunmetal gray on the front, some nice translucent blue plastic as well, a little bit of gold here on these weapons. Yeah, there's not really too much to go into for the vehicle mode, so we'll go ahead and we'll get into the transformation. So we're going to start by just pulling off all of these accessories. So you have these two guns here on the top, and it's really nice. Everything has this nice kind of clip system. It's the same thing for the animal accessories as well. And you can see that the figure is going to have these ports kind of all over the place. You'll see some here on the side. There's going to be some on the arms and things on the sides of the legs, and that's how you can attach all these various accessories all over the place. I'm going to pop these off, although I have to admit these kind of scare me because they don't seem to want to pop out, but they do eventually. There we go. So putting all of those off to the side. So starting with the transformation, you can kind of start by unhooking this section here on the side, and these panels will flip up like this, and then this will just kind of hang out. You're going to come to the front here and kind of wiggle these front pieces away, and then they can kind of hang down on the side like that. You can move the wheels here around a little bit. It's mostly to like not hinder articulation in the robot mode, but if it helps you, you can move those around now if you want, but it's not needed necessarily for the transformation. So we'll kind of hang those down there. This will kind of lift up, and then this whole section can kind of float up here. You can see it's got kind of a double hinged piece, so there's like a barbell with two pins, one there and one there. Coming down to the legs, we are going to unhook them, and then they will kind of lift up. Another kind of barbell system here with two pins. So move this out of the way like this. We can take the arms here. These will kind of fold out to the side. Make sure these panels are out of the way. So fold these back like this. And then I like to just kind of get the arms out of the way just because it helps. And then you can take this panel right here, and this is going to fold down and become the chest. And that will expose the head. You're going to break apart the legs here like this, and then you have to kind of pull the legs out so they kind of, there you go, pop those back in. These sections here are going to rotate up and become like knee pads that kind of just sit in like that. So take this up over here and rotate that up, and then that will click into place there, kind of straighten out the legs. These will be the heels, as you can see. So just kind of bring these down, straighten that like so. Then you're going to take this, and this is actually going to, it was kind of up like this. You're going to bring it forward towards you, and it should have a little tab. So if we zoom in here, you can see that there is a tiny little tab right there, and that is going to tab in right there. So bring this in so that it kind of goes towards the back of the leg, and that will tab in. And then this section has a little connector right there that will tab into this spot right here. So that will close and snap in. So we're going to do the same thing over here with this leg. We're going to bring this back until that tabs in on the side, which sometimes is a little easier said than done. You kind of have to take a look so you can line it up like that. And then once that's in there, that will allow you to close this back up and snap that into place. So we're pretty much done at this point, but all we have to do, kind of situate the legs. And let me angle this up a little bit. So we have that snapped in. Just kind of make sure the arms and everything are pointing the way you want. Turn any fists that need to be turned. And then this section is going to fold down and become a shoulder pad like that. And then, like I said, if you want to put these out to the side, you can. It's really just in case you want to move the arms out to the side. It gives you the clearance to do so, but they kind of just hang out. So for the back panel here, you're going to kind of lift this back. Now, the directions show you can lift this panel back as well. They kind of showed bringing these in and accordioning them in on themselves, and they will tab in. You can see that there's a little tab there and a little spot right there. So kind of tab that in and put them back like that. And then they kind of showed just kind of rocking this here like this. And then you can kind of bring this down. But you can see how this piece kind of gets in the way. And they kind of have it just like that. What I like to do is I just kind of open these up a little bit. Bring this all the way down so it can sit like that. And then just kind of push these in. Now the unfortunate part is they can't fold in all the way. So by having this panel down, like it's a shame that I can't bring these in and then bring this further down. I guess technically you could just leave this back like that. So you have a couple options, but ultimately what you want to do is the top tab right there is going to tab into this spot here on the back right here. And so that's going to tab in like that, and that's the backpack. So again, you have a couple of options. You could leave them like this and have that piece just kind of hang out back there. Or you could bring this in something like that. But I don't really like the look of that, so what I tend to do is just kind of open this up, bring this all the way down, and then just kind of push these in as far as I can. I feel like it still doesn't give him a huge backpack, but it clears up the area around the back of the head so much more, and so that's what I tend to go with. But there he is in robot mode. Now, if you want to bring these guns back in, you absolutely can. You have these pieces here. They have the clips all over the place, so if you wanted to put the guns on the forearms, you absolutely could, but we're going to use those clips on the forearms for the animal pieces in a little bit. So they kind of have you just storing them here on the back, and you can clip them in right here and right here. And then these pieces, they have you either connect on the back like this, or if you wanted, you could put them on the side of the leg, whatever you prefer. I tend to put them, well, actually, I'm going to put them on the side because I'll put other things in the back later on, and you'll see what I mean. You can also fold these pieces down. You can see there's like a little hinge, and you can bring this down so that way it doesn't impede the knees at all. And this has become unhooked. There we go. So that way you can see you can get the full range out of the knees by flipping those little panels down. So we'll pop this on the side of the leg here. And there we go. There is PULIS or PULIS in his transformed robot mode. So I think the robot mode looks pretty good. I mean, if we concentrate here on the head sculpt, I think they did a really nice job there. I like the gold and the kind of white section of the crown here. The eyes are kind of a nice metallic blue. You have all this detail here in the chest, which looks really nice. A little bit of translucent plastic there as well. All of this paint here in the abdomen looks really nice. Then you have some more down here. A little bit of translucent blue here in kind of the kneecap area. Then you have some blue plastic down here on the feet. A little bit of translucent blue here in the forearms as well. And like I said, even with them transformed this way, I feel like the backpack isn't too ridiculous. But if you do prefer to close this up more and have this just kind of hang out on the top, that is an option as well. Now, in terms of articulation, head can swivel from side to side. It's a little bit on a ball joint, so you can get a little bit of front to back, but not really much. It's mostly just the swivel side to side. You have some really nice movement here in the shoulders. I'm going to go ahead and move this piece up. And you can kind of hear the ratchets. Kind of a soft ratchet, not incredibly strong, but it's nice and solid. You can also move this front to back. You have a bicep swivel. You have double jointed elbows, so you can get a nice range of motion there. And then the hands are one solid piece, but you can swivel them side to side. You can lift up this skirt piece here if you like. I don't know, does he have a... Yeah, he does have a waist swivel. So if you can see like where the dark gray meets the white, there is a swivel there. So you can move that side to side. Like that. If you want to leave this up, we can kick pretty far forward, out to the side. Again, kind of a soft ratchet, but it is kind of present. Then you have a thigh swivel there. You have those knees, kind of double jointed knees. You can kind of hear the ratchets there as well. And then down here, you don't have a ton of movement in the ankle. You have a little bit, like you can kind of tilt this section. The whole thing can kind of go front to back a little bit. And then you can tilt a little bit side to side, but not a ton, but kind of enough to get like a standing pose that you would want. The only thing is the heels, I feel like they're just not the best. I wish the heels were a little better. They're a decent size, but because he's so back heavy, he tends to kind of fall back on the heels, and then that, like, I wish they were almost a little bit longer to kind of keep him pitched forward. But then again, I could kind of angle the feet a little bit like that, but then he kind of falls forward. So you just kind of have to find the right balance and get him to stand. But you can. I mean, it's not a problem getting him to stand. But I just wish the heels were a little better the way they were designed. But overall, I think he looks really cool. Really nice detail, really nice articulation. No issues with any of that. Let's do some size comparisons. So if we move him a little over to the side, here is a Voyager size transformer. So you say he's a little bit taller. I don't think I have a leader class anywhere handy, unfortunately. But just to give you an idea, you know, he's a little bit taller, maybe an inch taller than a current Voyager. Just for fun, here is a Super 10. I would say he's about the same size as a Super 10. And what else do we have? Well, here's Studio Series Voyager Shockwave. He's actually about the same size. I guess Flame is kind of a smaller Voyager, because this is Studio Series Shockwave and he's about the same size as that. So yeah, I guess Flame is kind of on the smaller side in terms of Voyagers, but just to give you an idea, I would say roughly around a Voyager. So moving on to the two Beast partners. First we have the Blue Flame War Dragon, who honestly kind of looks more like a T-Rex, if I'm being honest, with the arms and the legs, but they call him the War Dragon. So mouth can open and close, which is nice. You can move the arms around, get a little bit of articulation there. You can move, and you can kind of hear the ratchet there in the legs. You also have a bend here. This can move a little bit. This can move a little bit. And then the tail can move, although there aren't really many configurations where you would want to move the tail. But it looks good. I really like the color scheme. I think the blue is nice. You have this kind of metallic magenta here for the blade, well, the tail / blade. Some nice gold here. And then you have a little bit of translucent plastic here, like built into the head. And then you have some more of that metallic magenta, which I just think looks really sharp. He's also got these little cannons here on top. Now, the cool thing about how these work, and not all of them, because the eagle does not come apart, but a lot of the other ones in this line, you can kind of unclip these. And you can see here, it's the same kind of clips that we've seen everywhere else. So you can kind of clip these onto forearms or other parts of the robot and kind of transform these into little weapons. So for this guy, what you're going to do is you're going to take the legs off, like so. You're going to take off the cannon section, and then you're going to take the head off. The head is just kind of a simple peg and peg hole. And then you're just going to kind of tuck these away like that. And so then here is your blade. Now you can either clip it onto the forearm with this section, or he could just hold it as a weapon down here. So we'll come back to all those other pieces in a little bit when we bring PULIS back in. Now for the eagle, this is the Blade Eagle sword. This guy's really cool. Now to me, he looks more like a phoenix. I would have gone with phoenix, but they're calling him an eagle. But it's a really cool design. I mean, you have this really nice translucent green, which really pops with the red, and then you have the gold paint. All of that looks really, really sharp. So you can kind of move the head of the bird around like this. It doesn't move around a ton, but you can see there's also a hinge there. You can move these wings up and down. You can move the translucent green part of the wings as well. You have kind of a limited ball joint here for the leg, and then you can move this. There's a hinge here, and then you can also move the tiny little talon like so. And I guess technically you can move this around as well, the tail feather, but that's really more for the transformation. So this guy transforms into a sword. So how this works, you kind of swivel the bird head around, and then you bring these up like so, and then they will click together to form the blade of the sword. And then you just kind of rest the eagle head there. And then you're going to come to the tail and spin this around on the ball joint. And then you can see there's two little tabs here, and they're going to tab in there and there. So this comes up and tabs in like so. And then you're going to take the little feet and kind of push them all the way in like so. And then you're going to spin this around, and this is going to come up and sit in there like that. So once again, we are going to collapse the little translucent feet, bring this up, and then there is our blade, which I think looks really, really cool. I love the look of this. Such a cool sword. I think that really, really works. So let's go ahead, let's bring PULIS back in. All right, so we're going to bring in our parts of the dragon, and basically you can attach this to either arm. I'm going to, like I said, if you wanted to have him just hold this as a weapon, like so. Oh, is this too wide? This might actually be too wide. Yeah, I might be wrong about that. So maybe you can. So this might just be to connect the head. So I apologize for that. But you can definitely clip it here onto the side of the forearm. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. Then I'm going to take the little cannons that were on his back and clip them onto the other forearm, like so. Then I'm going to come around to the back, and I'm going to take these leg pieces, and for storage, we're really just going to clip them here onto the back and just kind of put them up. This is really just so you have somewhere to hide them, because they're not particularly weapon-like. So we'll hide them there on the back, like so, and then we'll come around to the front, and the little head here of the dragon actually clips onto the front of the chest here. That, whoop, as I drop it, all right. So there are little clip spots right here and right there. And so we're going to pop this on. And then you can kind of open that a little bit if you like. And then we are going to give him the giant sword. This will 100% fit into his fist. And there we go. So now you have him with both of his beast partners equipped. And I think this is really cool. I love having the dragon head on the chest. I think that looks really cool. I love the giant sword. I think that looks great. You have the little cannons here. You also have this other bladed weapon on the side. Now again, you don't have to use both beast partners. And if you have beast partners from other releases in this line, of course you can mix and match. So you can do whatever you want with all of that. You know, use one, use two. You could get all the other beast partners and try to clip on as much stuff as you can. It's really just up to you. There's a certain amount of, you know, mix and match, and also just kind of loading them up. You have a couple, like there's a clip spot here on the side. If you wanted to leave these weapons off, there will be more clip spots you could utilize. So there's a little bit of customization at play, but I think this is really cool. I mean, it's a cool robot to vehicle. I love the little beast partners. I think they look phenomenal. And the armor and stuff that they turn into, I just think is really, really cool. I love that sword. That looks so great. and I love this bit over here. Having this kind of bladed arm weapon I think is really cool. But again, if you just wanted to use the sword, you could leave the rest of this stuff off, or if you just want the chest piece and you don't care about the other arm part, stuff like that, you could do all kinds of customization with that. But yeah, really, really cool. I like this quite a bit. I think this is a really fun release. I really love everything about this. I wish I knew more about the IP. From what I can tell, it's called Glory Alliance 5, so I guess there have been 4 previous iterations of Glory Alliance, and I just don't know much about them. But, I mean, it's a cool-looking robot. I think the paint applications, the detailing, all that's really sharp. Articulation's nice. Vehicle mode is cool. Transformation back and forth, not too complicated, kind of that perfect amount. And I just really love the little beast partners. I think they're really cool, solid little figures. They can kind of come apart, become various armor parts, or in the case of the eagle, just a really awesome sword. There are 5 other releases that I got at the same time, so if you guys like this, let me know in the comments below and I can review the others as well. But yeah, it's a really, really neat line. Like I said, I was just kind of cruising AliExpress one night and they just came up in the search for other random stuff. And they just looked too cool. I had to check them out. So I really like this a lot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you want to see more of this, please let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.